the storm reports over the past 48 hours or so. So we can see Panola, look at that, 32 inches of snowfall, and this is all around the Buffalo area, really adding up. Now, I will say that Buffalo actually still is, I believe, still a little bit below for the snow for this time of the year, but they were well below. I was in on Wednesday, and we were really well below. We made that up by the time I was back on the air on your Friday, your Thursday. So, yeah, we are really having this lake effect snow really crank. We have more of those reports around West Seneca, 43.4 inches of snowfall coming in across the area, and it is still snowing in a lot of spots out there. Not as heavy as it was, but still the light snow is going to continue to add up some spots like Grand Rapids. Look at that temperature coming in at 10. If you're about to head out and about around Erie, we are dealing with some patchy fog across that area. But yeah, we do have some lake effect snow alerts right through today. They're the winter weather advisories from Garfield down off towards South Bend, and winter storm warnings around Erie for today. So it is going to really continue to crank across the area. Let's go ahead and time it out for you as we continue into your 3 o'clock. Yeah, we're seeing this fetch moving in across Grand Rapids, more of the same around Traverse City, and then again some light snow happening around Buffalo as well. So this is going to be the scenario as we continue through the next today and also into your Sunday as well. So this is what we're going to have for tomorrow morning as it all adds up. Less than an inch, but again, we've already been putting down a lot of it for sure. But look at what happens around Erie, 3 to 5 inches across this area. So yeah, these numbers are really going to continue to add up, Molly.
They really are.
Out for a bit. We'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
This hour, Weekend Recharge is just getting started, and we are going to
Well, with temperatures as cold as they have been over the last week, a lot of us probably have dry skin and cracking skin.
Yeah. Joining us now to help with that is dermatologist Dr. China Johnson. Thanks so much for joining us today. I literally just put on some lotion before I came up here, and my skin is like, it's still so dry. Why is the cold so harsh on our skin?
Cold.
All right, Dr. China Steele Johnson, thank you so much for the advice this morning. We appreciate it. A lot of advice. I needed it.
Yes, absolutely. and speaking of those long, hot showers, it is a rinse and repeat cycle setting up in the West. I wonder, how far back in storage they had to go to get the sleds, pulling off spider webs, dust. It's been a long time, but it's always good to see the snow return to many of these 95 cities that have been waiting a long time for it.
Yes. It's half past the hour as Weekend Recharge rolls on. I'm meteorologist Lynette Charles.
And I'm meteorologist Molly McCollum. And America's weekend depends on the weather, which as of late has been pretty frosty. And right now in Springfield,
it is going to be a mess as we go in through your Monday morning. The Arctic air is going to linger. So we're looking at temperatures that are going to be in the 30s from Kansas City to Wichita over towards Chicago, Lexington, Nashville. Yes, you're still going to be dealing with some cold conditions as we work our way into your Monday morning as well. And we will continue to watch plenty of a warm Gulf of Mexico moisture stream on off towards the north. And with that, yeah, it's going to be a mess because we're going to be talking about some freezing rain before it's all said and done. So yeah, this is what it's going to look like. So not so much the snow. You have to head really far to the north to get some of that snow coming in here. But for places like St. Louis, Springfield, Tulsa, around Oklahoma City, back off towards Little Rock, you are going to start out with some freezing rain on your Monday. So bottom line is that you're going to see that ice. And so if you can kind of work from home earlier on, it will begin to switch over. You'll have some warming happening as we go throughout the day. But all in all, it is going to be a rough go of it. And you're not going to win if you try to get on the roadway. So just stay home, watch the Weather Channel. That's always the best thing to do, right? If you can. So as we work our way into early Monday morning, we see a big swath of pink here. So Springfield, you're in on this. We're looking at this around Oklahoma City, Fort Smith as well. McAllister, you're on this, and then we start to see some warming conditions as we go into the afternoon. So you can get back on the roads after that, right? Because we're going to start to see that melting out there because of that rain. So we're talking about temperatures in Texarkana, 43, close to 50 in Dallas, and then as we head over towards Tulsa, 37 degrees, so above freezing. And this rain will continue to spread far off to the north. So before it's all said and done, yeah, we're going to be dealing with this around Wichita, around Springfield, around Jonesboro, Memphis. You're going to be in on the warm warmer conditions as well. But before all that happens, we are going to be dealing with some icy conditions and dangerous. We're talking about probably more power outages because you're going to be dealing with the crippling type ice that we'll see about a ½ an inch to 3/4 of an inch, and possibly maybe even in some of the darker areas, we could see up to about an inch. So Molly, it is going to be just another time where the power is going to be out. You can see the trees falling over. It's really a bad situation.
I'd say the only good thing is that we're going to see a warm up on the way. So if we do have extended power outages, it's going to be warmer. It's still not great.
For the second year in a row, Alaska's snow crab season is off. It's canceled. Billions of snow crabs have disappeared since 2018. CBS News correspondent Jonathan Bigliotti looks at why they're vanishing and the effort to save the species and the family businesses that depend on the crab industry. All totals, we do have the potential again for some flooding, unfortunately. So we want the rain, we need the rain across this area, but we just don't want it all at once happening across the area. So this is what we have. We're going to start you out as we go in through the rest of today into your tomorrow. And you can see the green, right? Not letting up at all. It's just going to continue to come in as we move in through your Monday as well, and even as we go into your Tuesday. So again, we're looking Seattle all the way down off towards San Diego as well. And in the interior, maybe a little bit of snow. Again, the higher elevations, we can try to squeeze that out. All right, let's talk a little bit about some lake effect snow now. So that's the one thing, but ice, that is a whole nother situation that we're going to be dealing with. But we have what's going on over the last 7 days, and this is what we're going to continue to work with. So we can see some of the pinks here, some of those lighter pinks, right? So around Buffalo, Watertown, you really added up those totals up to about 2 to 3 feet of some snow coming in. Why, are you asking? It's because we have not shut down the lakes, right? They're still open for business, if you will. We don't have the icing quite yet across the area. So we're going to continue to have the icing go more in the months to come. But yeah, they're still open for business. So we are still seeing that lake effect snow this morning. Now, again, it's not really cranking like it was, but we still have some snow falling across some of these spots this morning. So that's going to be the name of the game. Also, because of this, we do have the lake effect snow alerts right through your today. So we're still dealing with some winter weather advisories from Garfield off towards South Bend as well. But look at some of the teal colors, the darker colors. You always hear me say that because those are the winter storm warnings, and that's where things are really going to add up a little bit more. And when you're in this, again, you're going to be dealing with a little bit of blowing snow as well. But that's going to be the name of the game, Molly, as we go through the rest of today into your tomorrow as well.
Lynette's going to add up, and when it does, we're talking flooding. We just dealt with snow in many of these places, and now we're completely flipping the pattern and really the season in many regards.
Yeah, you know, and then a lot of places that are going to be getting this rain, there's a drought there. A lot of people think, oh, flooding and drought. No, you can have that in the same
There's a lot
time.
of contradictions going on, right? But they all make sense somehow.
They all make sense somehow. All right, let's talk a little bit about what's going on in terms of the cold, once again, that we're seeing around Tulsa, Fort Smith. As we go into your Sunday, we can see these temperatures, again, hovering right around freezing at this point. We can see that temperature profile goes into motion again for Tulsa. Look at the surface, look at the temperatures just right above that. And so we can see that we do have that warmer air aloft, and then it comes in contact with the ground, which is freezing. And so that's why we're going to start you out with some freezing rain. Now, as we go throughout the day, yes, we will warm up nicely, and that's some good news. So that's why I say if you can kind of wait to go in, that's going to be some good news for you as we work our way into your Monday. But all in all, on Sunday, hopefully a lot of you are just chilling, just watching us and not worrying about going to work. But again, if you're like me, you got to go to work on Sunday. And so if you can hold off on it, that would be great around Oklahoma City. We're going to be seeing more of the same, some freezing rain, switching over to all rain before it's all said and done as we go into the afternoon. This is going to be the name of the game as we work our way off towards Henrietta as well. Molly?
Well, sports teams, it's Saturday morning. Welcome into Weekend Recharge. I'm Molly McCullum.
And I'm Lynette Charles. America's weekend depends on the weather. And we've had storm after storm after storm after storm after storm.
There you go. 5. We've had 5 just since the beginning of the year. Now we're changing the pattern a little bit, and it's bringing its own different types of problems in.
Exactly. So in today's snapshot, millions are still shivering on the Saturday morning, and we're reinforcing that shot of bitter bitter cold. So we're talking about some cold air. Now, although you're going to see plenty of sunshine in Little Rock, Arkansas, check this out. We are going to be dealing with some very frosty wind chills out there. We can see right now that temperature is about 20 degrees, but it feels like 9, so it's quite cold out there. We're going to see that thermostat tick up a little bit as we head towards tomorrow. Not a whole lot, but again, we're going to start to see some changes as we head in through next week, really. So we're going to see problems like freezing rain out there. Let's go ahead and talk about some of these numbers that we're seeing, because, yeah, we do have these numbers that are going to be hovering around the 30s, the low 30s, possibly maybe even the upper 20s before it's all said and done. But remember, there's a profile as we head into your Sunday, into your tomorrow. So take advantage of what you're seeing out there right now, because, again, change is a-coming. We can see that we will start you out with a little bit of icing. That freezing rain is going to be happening across the area because the profile in the atmosphere, yes, down at the surface, we are going to be dealing with freezing conditions. And with that, we'll start you out with the pink. The pink is something that we don't want to see, right? Well, we have it around Fort Smith, around Fayetteville as well, along the interstates. Nope, you can't drive, so just stay home if you can. I know a lot of you have to get out there on the roadways, but just know that ice, you're not going to win with it. It's just too slippery. It's going to be like a skating rink out there, ice skating rink. Then we have lunchtime. So this is the good news. If you can maybe even just prolong, let's say that you can't work from home, maybe if you could just call in and be like, okay, I'm going to be a little bit late today. I'll be in at noon, because that's when we'll start to see more rain coming into the area. So the temperatures will begin to warm, and then you can get out in the roadways and still drive slowly as you're out and about. We can see this continuing into your Tuesday morning around Fort Smith. Now let's talk about what's going to be happening around Oklahoma City. The same. We still have more pink coming in across the area to start your Monday morning, unfortunately. But again, just like what I just showed you, we'll start to see some more green coming in around Oklahoma City, around Tulsa as well. Norman, you'll be seeing some rain, and we could see some heavy rain as we go throughout the day as well, and then things will start to back off a little bit. Little Rock, you are up next, and yes, you're going to see some of the pink as well as we go through the rest of your Monday early, and then we'll start to warm things up. So sound like a broken record, but that's the bottom line. The bottom line is that we're going to start you out with some freezing rain in these areas, and then we're going to switch over to plain rain as the temperatures begin to warm throughout the day. So speaking of those temperatures, as we go in through your Sunday night, numbers are in the 30s. As we look at that profile for Springfield, yes, we can see more of the same. So the surface, again, is on the cold side. We have layers above that are in the warmer side of things. But again, once that rain comes down and freezes on contact, voila, you have ice. Molly?
Well, rounds of snow
over a little bit more. So ice cover, slowly but surely, it's coming, but still lakes are open for business. And over the last 7 days, boy, have they made a lot of money, right? If you're open for business, look at all the snowfall back off towards Grand Rapids. We could see about a half a foot to 2 feet, and then more of the same in Buffalo, even higher around Watertown, Buffalo, Watertown, up to 2 to 3 feet of snow over the past 7 days. So yeah, they have really been getting hammered. Look at some of the reports here. And again, when we talk about lake effect snow, it all depends on that wind direction and who's going to get the heaviest snowfall. So Chicago, we had about 1.5 inches there, but look what happens over towards Panola, 32 inches of that snow falling, and we have it over towards Copenhagen, almost 51 inches, and West Seneca, 43.4 inches of snow. So yeah, Buffalo, you really got hammered over the past few days. Tug Hill Plateau, more of the same, and we still do have a few streamers happening out there this morning. Temperatures are still on the cold side and really cold, so if you are going to be out and about, make sure you bundle up. But because we still have more of that snow, we do have it through today, the lake effect snow alerts. We're looking at winter weather advisories for Garfield over towards South Bend, but we're also looking at winter storm warnings. Look at this around Erie, and then also we're going to continue to monitor the travel for you. So even if you have a winter weather advisory, travel is going to be difficult in the snow, and of course, if you have those winter storm warnings, we're really going to start to add that snow up, and it's going to be difficult there as well. So look what's going on. I'm putting this into motion. We're timing it out. We're still seeing a little blues, nothing like we've been seeing, but yes, we still have the blues back off towards Traverse City. We're looking at about Grand Rapids as well. So before it's all said and done, we will add up totals a little bit more. Not a whole lot, but yeah, we could see possibly adding to what I showed you around Erie, possibly 3 to 5 more inches. Molly?
Let's talk a warm.
Yes. This hour of Weekend Recharge is just getting started with plenty more icy nightmare with the Red Cross. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We actually do appreciate that. So, Jonathan, unfortunately, you've actually had some personal experience from this at your home. So what can happen when temperatures get too cold and our pipes freeze?
Yeah, we had gone to the...
They're already frozen. How do we safely thaw them without creating a bigger mess than it already has?
Yeah, you can use an electric hair.
It's more susceptible to freezing around our home other than other pipes?
Yeah, you're going to see it, the pipes...
Or say if you find frozen pipes in your house, but are there other times that we should call a plumber, whether it be to help us prepare or maybe after the fact as well?
Yeah, I've seen there are companies that can...
Cross, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We appreciate it. Really good tips because that stuff adds up. It's like you want to do the little things now so you don't have those big bills later.
I'm just going to say last year, and when we had that deep freeze around Christmas in the South, we had a very small pipe burst. And I mean, it has almost taken a whole year with like repairing the ceiling, putting insulation back on the pipes, getting a new light fixture. I mean, it is a mess. And that was tiny. That was tiny. But we have Arctic air in place this morning.
Charge rolls on. I'm meteorologist Lynette Charles.
And I'm meteorologist Molly McCullum. And America's weekend depends on the weather, which as of late has been pretty frosty. But we take you to Oregon first, where we...
The love, right? But I know a lot of people are like, no, I don't want that type of love. I want the warmer conditions. But we do have a warm up on the way. You just have to wait for a bit. So as we go into your Monday morning, though, those temperatures, these are low temperatures. These Arctic temperatures are going to linger. So we're talking about the 30s. Wichita, Kansas City, you're going to be seeing more of the same. We do have that warm Gulf of Mexico moisture coming in, and that air is warm as well. And we are going to see that pattern changing, but this is what we have. So we already do have that Arctic air in place. That is very heavy. And then you do have the warmer air, and it goes over top of that. And with that, this is what we're dealing with. You have the pinks. The pinks are so pretty, but they're so messy. They're so dangerous. And this is what we're going to see as we work our way in through your Sunday morning. That's going to be the name of the game around Tulsa. We're going to see this around Oklahoma City, Fort Smith, Springfield. These temperatures at freezing, below freezing. So the interstates are going to be a mess, an ice skating rink. And that's why if you can just wait, the good news is that we will begin to warm up as we go into the afternoon. So what you're seeing down off towards the south in the green, yes, that's going to begin to move in. So we'll see these temperatures warm up well above freezing, back off towards Wichita Falls. We're seeing this around Oklahoma City as well. And then as we head into your Monday, still more of the same as the green will continue to overspread back off towards the east. Look at Memphis as we head into your Tuesday as well. But when we talk about that ice concern, a glaze can cause a problem. So that's when we talk about the black ice, right? You can't see it because it looks like the blacktop, but it is frozen. And then you actually talk about the ice that we can see, and that's the one that's been encased in those trees, and the trees flap over onto power lines, and then voila, we do have power outages. And these are the totals that we talk about when we start to see that. Even a quarter of an inch to a half an inch, you can start to see those power outage problems. So that's going to be the scenario as we go in through tomorrow evening into your Monday morning as well. Further to the north, yes, we will see some snow. That's going to overspread, but pockets of freezing rain going to continue across the area. So that freezing rain will accumulate, unfortunately, but again, we will start to see some scattered rain showers coming in, and then they'll become more numerous down off towards the south as well, Molly, in places where we need the rain, but just not all at once.
And we have snow still in place.
Yes.
Nashville, northern Mississippi. 2024 could be even hotter, an even hotter year rather than 2023, which was the hottest year on record. The rising temperatures are causing glaciers to melt.
Now, a group of scientists in Chile is working to create artificial glaciers. CBS News correspondent Manuel Bojorquez climbed the Andes to show us how and find out why. So I will say that it is a lifeline for farmers during the growing season. But like you heard him say, it's not a solution. It's kind of like a Band-Aid.
It's an adaptation.
Exactly.
This adaptation, not just in South America, but really across the world until we can figure out how to fix what the actual problem is.
Exactly. Ice skating not at a rink, but through the streets of...
Now is who is going to see the most rain if we see the American model, which I just showed, which really puts the bullseye over northern Mississippi. We still have snow.
That's
in that area.
exactly what
so
I was
we'll
about to
see
say.
rain, melting snow.
Exactly.
That spells trouble for flash flooding.
Yeah, so it's like I wonder if the model actually picked up on the snow that was still on the ground. So we'll watch that for you, Molly. In terms of what's going on now, we have those temperatures to watch, and we have these numbers, 34 degrees in Tulsa as we head into your Sunday, right? So this is what we're working with because we're going to be watching for some pinks to roll in here, right, as we go into your Sunday. That means that, yeah, we're going to start you out with some freezing rain in some spots. Let's put this into motion. This is for Tulsa. We're going to be watching the surface at freezing, right? And then you can see just a layer above that, these numbers are above freezing. So you have that rain, that warmer layer, and then right at the surface, that's when we deal with the freezing on contact. And that's why we have that ice out there. We're looking at this along 40 as we work our way into your Sunday evening. We're looking at this for Oklahoma City, also around Norma. Tulsa, you'll be in on that as well as we go into the evening. Check out early in the morning on your Monday. Yes, we do have that freezing rain. Unfortunately, it is going to be, a commute is bad by itself, and then you throw in a Monday, and then you throw in the fact that now we're dealing with some freezing rain. So if you can kind of hold off before you get out on the roadways, then we'll start to warm things up as we go into the afternoon. Your commute home will not feature the pink. It's going to feature more of the green, so we'll be dealing with some rain going home. But to start off in Springfield, yes, more of those pinks coming in as we do have the freezing rain. And then we'll start to switch over a little bit earlier in Springfield, possibly maybe around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. But rain could be heavy at times across that area, and we could see some widespread rain coming in too. Molly, over to you.
Well, sports team morning and happy Saturday. Hopefully you're staying warm. Welcome into Weekend Recharge. I'm Molly McCullum.
And I'm Lynette Charles. America's weekend depends on the weather. And Molly, I feel like I'm at the end of February because we've seen so many snowstorms at this point.
The first 20 days of the year has felt like a couple months with how many winter storms we've had back to back and how many storms we've had causing big issues.
Yes.
Now we have another busy week, but it's different types of problems than what we've seen in the previous weeks.
Right. Let's go ahead to today's snapshot because there's just a little of something, right? All right. Good morning, Little Rock, Arkansas. Check this out. Don't let that sunshine fool you because, oh yeah, it's cold out there. So the last time I showed you this, it actually felt like 9 degrees. Now it feels like 15 degrees. So, oh yeah, getting balmy, right? No, it's freezing out there. It's so cold. We're going to be dealing with those wind chills falling well below zero. And you know what? Tomorrow, the temperatures will uptick just a little bit, but still we're going to be dealing with some very cold conditions out there. And we're also going to be bringing in a new set of problems like some freezing rain across the area. So let's talk about what's going on and when it's going to be in here and how long it's going to stick around too. Let's put this into motion for you as we can see as we head into your Sunday, early morning on your Monday. So late Sunday, early morning on Monday, we will start to see the pinks coming in. You guys know what the pinks are now when we're talking about winter type precip. Yes, freezing rain, and that is ice, and that is what we will contend with as we go through much of the morning. And so bosses, get on board. Let your employees come in maybe a little bit later or let them work from home. I say a little bit later because then we will start to switch over to rain before it's all said and done. We could see a nice swath of rain really coming in here. It's going to be nice and steady as we go through your afternoon, evening time frame, and even into your Tuesday morning, we're going to start you off with some rain as well. So this goes to show you that we will start to warm the temperatures a bit, warming that atmosphere. Let's talk about that profile for you as we continue in through your Sunday. So Fort Smith, we can see at the surface, yes, that is where we're dealing with the icy concerns and the temperatures below zero, and just that layer right above it, that's where we actually have warming, and that's why we deal with the freezing rain to start. So watch what I'm talking about. Here comes that pink nosing in as we go again overnight early into your Monday morning around Fayetteville, Fort Smith, around Ozark, Boonville, getting in on this as well. Check out the timing. Still early in the morning, 6 o'clock, still dealing with the freezing rain. It really won't be until around lunchtime that we'll start to warm those temperatures above freezing, and that's when you'll start to see some of the green color coming in. Now, with that said, around lunchtime, there still could be a few pockets of freezing rain, so you definitely do need to be easy out there and just be aware. You should always put a lot of distance between you and the vehicle in front of you anyway, but when you're talking about weather, even rain, you want to do that even more so. So this is what we have in terms of the precip and the freezing precip, the ice around Oklahoma City as we head into your Sunday evening. Again, the worst of it, and I should say the most of it rather, will really happen as we go into Sunday evening. Again, early in your Monday morning, we're going to be seeing this from Tulsa to Henrietta to Norman, Oklahoma City. But just like the other cities, we're going to warm up a little bit more, and we're going to switch that over to rain before it's all said and done in the afternoon. Molly.
Thanks, Lynette.
But I just feel like if you live around the Great Lakes, you know what you're in for, and you are loving it. So over the last 7 days, boy, have we piled up. We see a lot of areas from Grand Rapids up towards Watertown that got up to about 2 to 3 feet of snow out there. So that hopefully makes you excited. We can see some of these reports. And, you know, when we look at places like Chicago where it's like, oh, it doesn't look like that report's too high. But when you talk about lake effect snow, you talk about really the wind direction. That really tells you who's going to be getting the heaviest amounts. So look over towards Panola, 32 inches there. And then when you look back off towards Chicago, not so much, about 1.5 inches. So this is what we're going to continue to monitor over the next several days here. It's not a whole lot of snow happening right now. I'll show it to you, but still some light snow falling, and that will kind of add up. Look at West Seneca, 43.4 inches of snow just around Buffalo. You guys were just cranking that snow because the lakes are still open here. So you can see some of the blues still falling across the area here. Temperatures, of course, cold enough, so cold to support the snow at this point. And we have some alerts right through today. So we're looking at winter weather advisories, Garfield down off towards South Bend. And we're still dealing with a winter storm warning across Erie. So we could get some good snows kind of adding up before that's all said and done. Really don't want to be out there on the roadways, even with the snow. Yes, you have a better chance of faring in snowfall, but again, it's still going to be difficult to travel in. So if you don't have to travel, don't. Again, it's Sunday. We can recharge us on, get that big cup of cocoa, and just tune on in, because we will start to see and add up a little bit more in terms of the lake effect snow moving in back off towards Traverse City, Lake Erie. You're going to see that big fetch off there, so we could add up to about 3 to 5 in Erie before it's all said and done. And then check this out. Orchard Park, New York, we're faring a little bit better. Tomorrow it happens at 6:30. Not going to be dealing with any type of snow falling. Temperatures will be a little bit warmer, but we had that wind chill out there. So we're looking at numbers, Molly, that will be more in the teens. But when you compare that to numbers that were negative before, we'll take it.
And they've done some really quick work, Lynette being one of those.
This hour of Weekend Recharge is just getting started. Cold and
with temperatures as cold as they have been over the last week, a lot of us probably have dry skin and cracking skin.
Yeah. Joining us now to help with that is dermatologist Dr. China Johnson. Thanks so much for joining us today. I literally just put on some lotion before I came up here, and my skin is like, it's still so dry. Why is the cold so harsh on our skin?
You know, cold.
Now, what's the one best tool to take care of our skin? Is it moisturizer, or is it covering up when we're outside, or maybe a combination of the two?
Oh my gosh, a combination.
Like, get out and about. You should see me. I look like a boxer because I literally put like Vaseline on. That's what I need. Like, lotion does not do anything for me. So what type of lotion should we be using in the winter? Is it actually different from the warm months? So, and is the Vaseline okay?
Vaseline.
Now, nothing feels better after a really cold day outside than a very long, hot shower. But that's not the best idea this time of year, is it?
Yeah.
All right, Dr. China Steele Johnson, thank you so much for the advice this morning. We appreciate it. A lot of advice. I needed it.
Yes, absolutely. and speaking of those long, hot showers, it is a rinse and repeat cycle setting up in the west. Readings from icy Milwaukee.
Exactly. It's 1:30 as Weekend Recharge rolls on. I'm meteorologist Lynette Charles.
And I'm meteorologist Molly McCollum. America's weekend depends on the weather, which as of late has been pretty frosty. Below freezing temperatures.
I think maybe somebody had a sprinkler on or something, because you could see that the water was flowing, but it was frozen. Actually pretty when it's like that, but what you just showed, again, that's a mess, and that could be very dangerous out there. But let's talk about those low temperatures as we continue right in through Monday morning, because that Arctic air is going to linger. We will be in the 30s from Wichita all the way back over towards Lexington, down off towards Nashville as well. So when we talk about Nashville, you know, you got your record snows there, and then we're going to be dealing with a warming trend, and we could see possibly maybe some flooding across that area before it's all said and done. Molly's going to talk all about that. But in the meantime, we do have that warm Gulf of moisture from the Gulf, I should say. And with that, that is going to cause some problems. So what we have going on already entrenched is that Arctic cold air. And then we had that warmer Gulf of Mexico moisture coming in. And with that, this is the mess that it brings. So we're talking about freezing rain, icing concerns here. So that freezing rain is going to expand all the way into the Midwest. We're looking at this around Springfield. We'll see this around Fort Smith, Oklahoma City, Tulsa. As we work our way into your Sunday night, into your Monday, here it is right here. And you can see those temperatures hovering right around 32 degrees. So hovering right around freezing or just below that. And as we go in through rush hour, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, yes, the pink continues to spread on up toward the north here. Now, the only good news that I have with this is the fact that we will start to warm as the day goes on. So the freezing rain will switch all over just to plain rain as these temperatures continue to warm up. As we go in through your rush hour coming home, we won't be dealing with the pinks, we'll be dealing with the greens. And that means that we'll be dealing with some rain coming in. Now, we still have the pinks to talk about, though, because as we do have the pinks and the freezing rain, it is going to add up. Unfortunately, we could see up to about half an inch to 3/4 of an inch, and that is really crippling, where we're talking about more power outages because the trees are actually falling over on the power lines, Molly. But, you know, don't sleep on glaze, because glaze is so dangerous. Just what we just showed about the parking lot, that's like a glaze, and that's a problem.
Exactly what can happen.
Yeah.
And it can happen so quickly,
Yes.
too, where it rains, you get the freezing rain for 5-10 minutes, and all of a sudden the roads are just a completely different
treacherous.
animal.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned the plain rain.
For the second year in a row, Alaska's snow crab season is off, canceled. Billions of snow crabs have disappeared since 2018. CBS News correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti looks at why they're vanishing and the effort to save the species and the family businesses that depend on the crab industry. A lot of snow last week. All right, let's talk about a lot of snow across the Great Lakes as well, but we're dealing with a different animal, right? Lake effect snow. And boy, we talk about that lake effect snow machine. It gets to cranking, and boy, was it cranking over the last 7 days. And you can see some of these totals, some of these pinks from Grand Rapids over towards Buffalo. Watertown, more of the same, 2 to 3 feet in some spots. Before we move on, let's continue to watch the reports that we had come out. So look at Chicago, about 1.5, 1.5 inches of snowfall. But look at the distance, 55 miles away over towards Buffalo, and look at that, 32 inches of snowfall there. So you get the point. It just depends on the wind direction, how that fetch really sets up over those lakes. And boy, can we really churn it out, crank it out. And that's exactly what we were doing in a lot of spots over the past several days now. Still dealing with lake effect snow as we go through today. So we do have winter weather advisories. We do have some winter storm warnings as well. We've been talking a lot about ice this morning and how don't drive in ice. Don't drive in ice because you can't. You're not going to win. Well, you really shouldn't be driving in the snow either. It's going to be difficult. So just be prepared for that. Even if you have the snow tires on, the chains, that sort of thing, back off towards the west. But still, it will make it for difficult. But at least you have a little bit of a fighting chance with snow. Ice, you don't. We'll continue to watch this snow. Not a whole lot, but again, when we receive so much already, anything is going to cause, again, more problems. We can see Erie will be the winner, really coming up to possibly maybe about 3 to 5 more inches before it's all said and done. We can see the game, and it looks much more improved, Molly, than when we had this forecast before.
Absolutely, and all the pours and who sees the most rain. But we know all across the southeast, flooding is going to be a concern after last week. It was winter weather. Now it's flooding. It's always something.
It is. Question for you.
Yes.
70s with plenty of rain, or the Arctic cold and dry and those wind chills that are just
Do you get
crazy.
snow?
Yes.
Then yes, I want snow.
Nice. Okay.
Maybe it's because I haven't really seen that much so far this year, but I will take that over flooding rain.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people are going to take the snow over some freezing rain as well. So let's talk about that, because boy, do we have it in places where, you know, yes, you have seen freezing rain. You've seen snow in this neck of the woods, but still you don't get it often. And this is what we're going to be dealing with around Oklahoma City as we go into Sunday night and early in your Monday morning. This is what we're going to be dealing with as well. So it is going to be a rough go of it. Call the boss. Hopefully the boss has been watching the news and they know that it is going to be icy out there. So hopefully they'll give you some grace, and that grace will be maybe a few hours, let things warm up, or maybe to work from home, because you're going to need to do so. As we go into about 2 o'clock, yes, we start to see the warmer temperatures. And because of that, yes, we start to see more rain coming in, and not so much freezing rain as it freezes on contact. This is what we have as we go in through Springfield. More of the same with the freezing rain starting early in the morning. And then we'll start to have that warm nose move in. And that means we will transition over to just plain rain. Looking at this around Springfield, around Branson as well. That is going to be the scenario. And then as we go in through your Fort Smith area along 49, 540, yes, more of the same as we head into your Monday morning. We do have plenty of pinks across the area. And then once again, as we go into the afternoon, things are going to start to get a little bit warmer out there. So more rain. Molly, over to you.
Well, we have brand new video. Well, happy Saturday. Welcome into Weekend Recharge. I'm Molly McCullum.
And I'm Lynette Charles. America's weekend depends on the weather. And boy, have we had some weather, just storm after storm after storm, 5 storms. I'm not going to do it for you again. But yeah, and this has all been in the same month of January.
The last 20 days.
Exactly.
We've had 5 winter storms. Now, the warmer air is so close.
It is.
Like you can see it on the horizon. It's not quite here yet. So in the meantime, a lot of
people to be dreaming about summer.
Maybe a little too early.
I think some people
want to get to spring, honestly.
I know. All right, let's take a look at what's going on here, because we're looking at Little Rock, Arkansas, and what a beautiful view, right? This is the type where you just kind of want to stay in the house and like look through the window, because you don't want to step out in it, because we can see that it feels like 15 degrees. It is cold out there, very frosty. We're going to have those wind chills falling well below 0 as we go through time. But you know what? That thermostat's going to continue to tick up a little bit as we head towards tomorrow. Not all that much, but just a little bit, giving you some type of light at the end of the tunnel, right? Let's go ahead and talk about what's been going on. Goes into motion, because Little Rock, you're going to be dealing with some pink, right? I could just do everything in colors, and I think that you guys would know what I'm talking about. But I will tell you, the pink, freezing rain, ice coming in across the area as we go in early morning on your Monday. So unfortunately, it's a Monday, and unfortunately, it's your commute, and unfortunately, we're going to be dealing with some freezing rain. So if you can wait it out until maybe around lunchtime, then get on the roadways, that is going to be your best bet. Again, we talk about it all the time. Ice is so much different from snow, because you have a little bit more traction on snow. Ice, not so much. So as we go into Monday evening, your commute home, that is going to be a much better commute for you. And then this is what that temperature profile looks like back off towards Fort Smith, around Tulsa. We're looking at temperatures hovering right around freezing, at that surface, and then that's where we do have that problem. So this goes into motion. This is, again, on your Sunday. We see that surface temperature coming in at freezing, below freezing, and that level right above that is much warmer. So you have the warmer air that comes down, and then it freezes on contact, and that is ice. We call it freezing rain, and that moves in across Fort Smith, Fayetteville, as we go early into your Monday morning. But then we start to see again that warm air trying to push its way in. Come on, warm air. Come on, warm air. You can do it, because we need that to warm the temperatures, and with that, it's going to switch over towards just all liquid. So we will see that rain coming in, and it will be heavy at times, and it will be widespread moving through the area, continuing into your Tuesday morning as well. And you're thinking, oh, well, Tuesday morning was not dealing with freezing rain. Exactly. We're going to stay with the warmer temperatures. So you can see that warming trend. Slowly but surely, it's going to happen. We'll see this around Oklahoma City as well, starting out in the morning on your Monday with the freezing rain, and then in the afternoon, evening time frame, it switches all over to the rain. We'll see that around Tulsa as well. And lastly, we can see that profile as we head on off towards, I believe this will be Springfield, and we can see what's going on here again. More of the same with that cold air at the surface, just freezing on contact. Molly, we start off with the freezing rain and then end up with just plain rain.
Let's just say what it is
before it's all said and done. But boy, have we had that snow add up over the past 7 days. The reason being is because the lakes are still open. We have to shut that off for that to happen. And what I mean by shut it off means that we need to start getting some ice on these lakes, so we're not dealing with that warmer air and that colder air riding over the warmer air. So because it's not shut down, we have dealt with plenty of snow, upwards of 2 to 3 feet. Buffalo, Watertown, the Tug Hill Plateau really getting in on this. We've added up the storm reports. Now, if you go to Chicago, you're thinking, oh, 1.5 inches, I should say, of snow compared to, and this is just 55 miles away, Back off towards Panola, we're looking at 32 inches of snow. So yeah, we can do this. Again, depending upon the wind direction of the setup of the wind across the lakes depends upon how much snow you're going to receive. And that's exactly what's been going on. So we can see West Seneca, that snowfall, 43.4 inches of snowfall. But again, if you live on the lakes, if you live in the upper Midwest, you love snow. You know it's coming. You want it to come. And you don't have a big problem when you're seeing all this type of snow. And we're still dealing with some of that snow, light snow coming in across the area. It will continue to add up a little bit more through today because of that. We do have winter weather advisories, so it's still going to be slick out there on the roadways, even though we're just talking about snow. Just take it easy. Winter storm warnings as well. We're seeing that around Erie. Let's put this into motion, and you see again some of the snow trying to work its way around Traverse City as we go in through the rest of today, and even as we head into your tomorrow as well. So not a whole lot, again, compared to what we had over the past several days. Things are still trying to wind down a little bit, but we'll still put down some good snows before it's all said and done. Around Erie, up to about 3 to 5 inches. Let's talk about that game as we go in through tomorrow, right? Because the Bills Mafia, so they call them, they are a hardy bunch, excited for this game. These wind chills of 12 as we go in through the game, and 11, oh, that's nothing for them, but at least we won't really be dealing with any type of snow falling at that point, Molly. So the fans, they're loving this, no problem whatsoever.
You mentioned the Bills are a hardy group.
This hour of Weekend Recharge is just getting started with plenty more. I'm there with the Red Cross. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We actually do appreciate that. So, Jonathan, unfortunately, you've actually had some personal experience from this at your home. So what can happen when temperatures get too cold and our pipes freeze?
Yeah, we had gone to the...
They're already frozen. How do we safely thaw them without creating a bigger mess than it already has?
Yeah, you can use an electric...
It's more susceptible to freezing around our home other than other pipes?
Yeah, you're going to see it, the pipes...
Or say if you find frozen pipes in your house, but are there other times that we should call a plumber, whether it be to help us prepare or maybe after the fact as well?
Yeah, I would say there are companies that could...
Cross, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We appreciate it. Really good tips because that stuff adds up. It's like you want to do the little things now so you don't have those big bills later.
I'm just going to say last year, and when we had that deep freeze around Christmas in the South, we had a very small pipe burst. And I mean, it has almost taken a whole year with like repairing the ceiling, putting insulation back on the pipes, getting a new light fixture. I mean, it is a mess. And that was tiny.
Exactly.
That was tiny. But we have Arctic air in place this morning. Coming up, a rinse and repeat cycle setting up in the west. We're watching a system play in. They still had a lot of snow in the stadium.
Did you see them like throwing it?
Yeah. Yes. And I also noticed, you know, people, they didn't even clear off the seats. They're like, I'm just going to sit in the snow.
Exactly. Like I said, they're a hardy group, that's for sure.
They are.
Yeah. It's 1:30 as Weekend Recharge rolls on. I'm meteorologist Lynette Charles.
And I'm meteorologist Molly McCullum. America's weekend depends on the weather, which as of late, it's been pretty cold and frosty, including below freezing.
A rough go of it in terms of those temperatures for sure. So anything that is water, it looks like water, and these type of temperatures, not so much water. It is going to be frozen. We do have those temperatures, your low temperatures, that Arctic air staying in the 30s as we go in through your Monday morning. But Arctic air in place, and then you do have that warm Gulf of Mexico moisture coming in over top of that. And with that, we are going to be dealing with the potential for some freezing rain coming in. So we've been talking about this mess that we have as we go in through your Monday morning. This is going to extend all the way on up towards the Midwest as well. Look what's happening back down off towards Oklahoma City, Fort Smith, Little Rock, all getting in on this as we work our way in through late Sunday night into your Monday morning. So here we go. Tulsa, you'll see this. Springfield, you can see the temperatures. The temperatures are everything once you're talking about really the whole profile, but when you're talking about at the ground, because you could be warm and then all of a sudden cold right on contact, and that's freezing rain, and that's exactly what we're going to be seeing across these areas. So 44, 49, along 35, definitely going to be a rough go of it, and you're not going to go anywhere, so you might as well just stay home and just wait. You know, if your boss won't let you actually have off, maybe you can go in a little bit later, or hopefully you can work from home. And I say this is good news because we'll start to warm things up a little bit, talking about those temperatures going above freezing. But in the meantime, we will have those ice totals really add up. We could see about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. That is crippling. That's when we're talking about power outages outages, the downed trees, the trees on the power lines, and we had the power outages out there. But the snow is going to continue to develop in the deepest cold air, so further to the north you go. But even once we have the rain, you still have to be careful and really mindful of what's going on, because we could see pockets of some freezing rain still adding up before it's all said and done. So Molly, you know, we do have a change that's coming, but before that happens, we're still dealing with a mess that's coming.
We don't go straight from the snow to the rain.
Right.
We have to have this messy time in between. That's really going to be a lot of trouble as we start. 2024 could be even hotter, an even hotter year rather than 2023, which was the hottest year on record. The rising temperatures are causing glaciers to melt.
Now, a group of scientists in Chile is working to create artificial glaciers. CBS News correspondent Manuel Bojorquez climbed the Andes to show us how and find out why. So I will say that it is a lifeline for farmers during the growing season. But like you heard him say, it's not a solution. It's kind of like a Band-Aid.
It's an adaptation.
Exactly.
This adaptation, not just in South America, but really across the world until we can figure out how to fix what the actual problem is.
Exactly. Ice skating not at a rink, but through the streets